Welcome back, my friend. This is Mr. Alan in the world of toys. If you collect Mythic Legions, if you are in the cabal, you know that there is an amazing artist that creates something special with Mythic Legions and customize and creating amazing character and homage figures. Like my favorite, an awesome crank android body, and the name of my guest is Eric Miller. Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. That song was
nice
awesome.
To meet you. I'm very happy that you like the song, and nice to meet you. I'm happy to have you finally, and also a shout out to our mutual friend, another amazing artist that I discovered because of the Mythic Legions. Trevor Williams was also a part in my celebration of 1 million views, and actually are over 1,200,000 views, just to celebrate myself, narcissist moment for myself. But however, I was a part in this show along with Chris and Walter. However, finally I got you because you got my attention with the Crank and Rabbi. They put this stuff also on the song because since when I was a kid, I watched that character, and it was frustrating because the actual playmate figure of this character wasn't really cartoon accurate about the color, about this stuff. And when I saw your version with this oversize, I saw wow. Oh, you can have this idea and put this stuff together and got something for the Mythic to create something that looks perfect for another line like TMT and this character. So we start with this one.
Okay, sure. I've got him here. There we go. Do you have any specific questions about him or anything? Or
yes, for example, tell me how you decide to put together this custom. Which part? Tell me the story behind, because I believe you know very well the character, but why you decide to choose this part or the others? Tell me something about that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I made the other Ninja Turtles customs before this one, so I had all the turtles and Shredder, and I think I had made Casey at that point too, Casey Jones. So I was looking for the next one to do, and then this head came out from Wolf King Customs, and I bought a few of them, and as soon as I got it, I just knew that was going to be a Krang. It just fit the bill too well. So I started thinking about what I could do. Obviously, that's not going to fit in the torso of a 1.0 style Mythic Legions figure, so I had to go big. Problem was, Bolthor was already a really expensive figure by that point, so I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And I talked to Walter from the Cabal and said, hey, I really want to do an Android Krang. Do you know anyone that might have a Bolthor that I can buy from him? And he was like, sure, man, I got one. So he just sent it to me, and then it was on as soon as I got it. I knew I had to dig out the torso, so that kind of was a hard hurdle to jump. It was kind of hard to cut into an expensive figure like that. But I did it. And luckily, I don't know if I've said this on any other show either, but the inside of this torso is actually hollow once you get in there. So it wasn't as hard as you probably think it would be.
But sorry, when you start to cut this part, at the time that was hollow, or you discovered during the work there was hollow inside?
Right. Yeah. I assumed that it was solid and I thought it was going to be a ton of work. And it still was a lot of work, but I was very pleasantly surprised to find out that it was hollow when I started cutting. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The rest of it's just I sculpted this upper belt here, and then this little area here is made out of the leather belts that come with the legions, and then I put little rivets on it and sliced up the collar, and then I glued on these 1.0 like Templar style pauldrons, and he's got a little head antenna from a Marvel Legends Black Bolt, and then that's pretty much it. He's fairly basic.
It's basic, but the idea is awesome because you choose the perfect piece to do that. And I like so much this. You have a project to do also a crank in a bubble walker, some stuff like that.
If the right pieces presented themselves to me, I'd probably do it. But there's a lot of Ninja Turtles characters to do, so I'd probably want to get through a few more before I revisited one I already did. But I don't know, maybe with Cosmic, if there's some cool pieces, Cosmic Legions, maybe I'll do it then.
Also for Bebop, there is the guy, the boar, the guy with the boar face that can work maybe for Bebop.
Maybe. If I do Bebop and Rocksteady, I want them to be bigger than like a 1.0. So I'm thinking that brute scale with the Poxis wave might really kind of spark those, but we'll see.
So you need the many Tarnog figure, Tarnog figure to do that, because Tarnog is a brute scale, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe also the Genie, I believe, but I'm not sure for that one.
Yeah.
However, back on, I want to do a throwback in your life as an artist. So let me know if you remember the first time in your life when you discover your talent in general.
Just talent in general, not even just painting or whatever.
Yes, the beginning you discover that you feel that you are an artist the first time that you, for example, I give an example with myself.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered that I'm an artist since when I was a kid because I was good to drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, then I start becoming a musician. But the first stuff that I do that I discovered, yes, I'm an artist because I was good to drawing. It was my first a window that was opened to this other world that there is the world of creativity, imagination. What is your first moment that you discovered the first way that your talent find in you?
Honestly, the first thing I can remember, which is funny because I don't know if anyone's really ever asked me that exact way before, but I remember being maybe 4, maybe 5 years old, and I drew a picture of Raphael, the Ninja Turtle, while I was at my babysitter's house, and it was like that Raphael that you always saw where he's like lunging forward. It was like on the cover of like the old trading cards, and it may have been on like a VHS tape or something. It's like I had like learned how to draw that picture, and I did it so many times that I could do it from memory. And I drew it once at my babysitter's house, and I remember my babysitter like freaking out and saying like, "Did you draw this? Like 5-year-olds shouldn't be able to draw this, you know?" And her like talking to my mom when she picked me up, and then from then on, I guess I remember I was just always drawing, and that was my thing, just drawing up through high school or so. And I always would tell people I wanted to be a comic book illustrator. Hey, Walter's here. But I only ever drew like guys or like superhero guys. I never really learned how to draw women very well. I never spent a lot of time doing like backgrounds and settings and stuff like that. And I went to college for that kind of stuff and I got better at it. But by then I was like, I wasn't as passionate about it then. And I'm similar to you. Like, I got into music too. So like when I was in high school, I started bands and stuff. So when I was in college, I wasn't as interested in art. I just figured if I was going to go to college for something, might as well be art. I apologize. My family always gets home while I do these.
Me too. I have a dog. I have a dog too because my dog is a pug. You know the pug is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like a little bulldog. Okay, but now he's in the other room and sleeping. So which dog do you have? It's not related, but I like dog. Which dog do you have?
I have two. I've got. My oldest dog is a miniature schnauzer, so she's very yappy. And then I have a dog that's maybe a year and a half old, maybe close to 2 years at this point. That's a Australian Shepherd Border Collie mix, but they're both fairly loud.
You live close to the nature, or you are in a city?
I live on a farm.
Oh, cool, awesome! Then because animals needs to be. For example, me, I live in a small town close to the mountain. There is in front of me a big church, and during my summer interview, you can hear the church because I open everything during the summer. There is a medieval castle, looks like a real life diorama from Mythic Legends.
That's awesome.
And in this, there is a background, but right. Actually, this is my living room, and back there is a forest. So with the tree, I like the nature. The nature, I think, is important for an artist to give you the good background to create. Yes, I can create a novel. For example, when I travel on a train, because I work. When I create a novel, I put on the phone my playlist of my soundtrack for the story. And I can write in everything, everywhere, and everything. But with the nature, I think is a little bit better. For example, when you do a custom, what is the perfect location to work with good to be very focused on your job? Tell me something like that.
Sorry, my dog's going nuts. So you said when I do a custom, like what's the perfect place for it?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I always do the work right. Actually, where I'm sitting right now, it's just at my kitchen table. But I don't know. I get my day job is pretty slow, so I think I sit there and I just kind of think about all the things that I could do when I get out of work, and think about the next project I want to do and what parts I want to use and what colors I'm going to use and that sort of thing. And then when I get off of work, it's kind of go time, and then I just start working on them.
You tell me that you live near the nature. I start to imagine maybe you work outdoor with a table with the trees and the birds singing outside. So this would be an interesting stuff.
Maybe that sounds pretty cool. Maybe I should try that sometime. I live, I live on a farm, but my house is like really close to like a really busy road, so it's maybe not as serene as you would think.
Okay. Okay. Which other characters do you have? Speaking of TMT homage right there.
Sure. Yeah. As far as Ninja Turtles go, I can start at the beginning and kind of go through them. So I did the main 4. So like, here's a Donatello that I did.
Awesome.
And then
slowly.
Okay, we'll slow it down.
Turn, but you want to see also the back. Turn.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's unbelievable. I am surprised for that because the first time that I saw that, and it's unbelievable how your imagination got an orc and changed an orc is a totally different character and works awesome. I love it. Yeah, the power of your. I think now I understand why you, before to start, you think a lot about the colors. So you feel that if watch the figures like this or like Donatello, and I saw also Raphael, I believe, the next one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here's the Raphael.
It's amazing, this idea, because it's not something that you can get easily if you don't know really well your job as a customizer, because you need to have a good imagination and wonder how can looks that. I think the process is not easy. You need a
Mm-hmm.
big creativity to do that, because got something totally different, because an orc is a mean character. I love
Mm-hmm.
orcs, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But we transform very well from orc to Raphael and works awesome. I like how you can do that. Now you can watch the pieces and you start to think, yes, could be for Raphael. I think not everyone can have the same idea. Now many people maybe copy you because of that, but I think you have you're like some pioneer of that, because it's not easy get this final perfect results because of the beginning of this process. What do you think?
What's the question? I'm sorry.
That was a consideration, not a really question. What do you think about your uh, your um, your style? Not that I see so far because of these two figures, but also for the previous with Krang. And what do you think about this process that you are able to get something that is really, really different about the attitude, the gimmick of the character,
Mm-hmm.
and you are able to discover that this stuff that looks like this character is totally different and can become an hero. No,
Sure.
the tell me something about that. This your
Um,
style.
well, I mean, it just kind of starts with an idea of just a character that I like, that I would like to have a cool figure of. And um, with Mythic Legions, it's like, I mean, in my opinion, they're far and away the best toys that are out there right now, from anyone, really. So I kind of just wanted to have characters I liked in that style. But once I started doing it, I started thinking, well, the motivations are going to be different for these characters. They're not going to be what they originally are, like in the comics or in a cartoon or something. Like you said, like an orc isn't really like a heroic character. But what if, like in the Mythic Legions world, there's like a Master Splinter kind of character that maybe adopted 4 baby orcs and taught them to be heroic from birth or something like that. That's maybe the reason why I haven't made a Master Splinter yet, because I don't really know what that character looks like in my head yet. But you start to kind of develop lore for the characters, and you kind of think about backstories or what the character's motivations are, and it really starts to shape into something different. Like with the Donatello, it's like I started to think about, like, what's the best weapon for Donatello to have? Do I just want to give him a stick and call it a bow staff? It's like, well, in Mythic Legions, you've got these magic staffs, and it's like, well, what if my Mythic Donatello orc is actually like a magic character? Like, it's kind of absurd, but I think it's a cool idea. So why not? And then, I started to think about, like Raphael, like, is he going to have size? It's like, well, no, he's an orc. Like, they're kind of savage characters. So like when you give him these like bone axes, they're kind of Psy-like, and they fit the bill better, and they make more sense with the character. So it is fun to think about them that way, and to, a big part of what goes into the custom and how I want it to look comes from what I think that character's story is in my own headcanon,
I like that. I like also now I discover another step of your process, because you start from one word, the Mythic Legions, and the word you want to create with another line or word like TMT. But meanwhile, you create a new word that is a mix between these two words, and this is really cool. I like that.
Mhm.
It's creative. I like this idea that is not just an homage, but is something your personal. That is a mix between these two worlds. And by
Mhm.
the way, I agree with you. The Mythic Legions are the best figures ever. For example, when I start this project with Mythic Legions, I stop every other collection that I have, because I haven't the money to collect everything. I honest with you, because I spend a lot also to do this diorama and everything. But also because, wow, the quality. I remember the first time that I got my first figure was Kim Brondon. At that time, it was really, really new. I never had before a Mythic Legions figure. And when I start, when another throwback, I rewind a little bit again, because I tell you a story. I'll start my passion for Mythic Legions. Because on the channel, I did many interviews with many people in the toy business, and I did the first two interviews with CB. The first one was the last April, the last 2021. And before the interview, I go to the website to discover a little bit better with this, because I did at that time I know what is Mythic Legion, but basically because of the Motu homage figure of PowerCon.
Mhm.
And then I watched that. I did this interview with CB. He told me that he showed me some stuff. And he told me also that this figure are scaled. So the ogre is bigger, the troll is bigger, the dwarf is shorter, the goblin, the different size. When I heard that, wow, this is super cool, because
Mhm.
I like that. For example, another story, another side story inside my story.
Mhm.
I did some custom, but I just design, and my friend do some custom for me, but not for Mythic Legions, but for WWF Hasbro figures, because I'm a Rising Golden Era fan. I love the WWF Hasbro, and decided to create it before on Facebook and then on this channel a federation of wrestling. Every time I create every week a stop motion show, and I did the story. But in this roster of Hasbro, I want figures that I never had in the Hasbro size. So Big John Studd or King Kong Bundy. And every time that I told with this friend, I told you, when you sculpt that, remember, use the Hasbro Pass, but remember the size, the different size. Big John Studd need to be taller than Jim Duggan, not with the same height. And this is the same philosophy of Mythic Legions. I heard that, I start to think, wow, wow, wow. I saw this character. I'm a fan of Hero Quest, Lord of the Rings, this stuff. After this conversation with CB in my show, I had a dream. And that dream was also my father. And in that dream, I had a lot of Mythic Legions figure. And that dream, I told with my father, what happened? I never had this figure. The morning, 4 p.m. for myself, because I'm like a Dracula. I go to the Horsemen website and I saw this figure, every figure. This is for me. Why I discovered right now, only right now, this line. And I start to pick all characters I want. I start to thinking a story to do in stop motion. And then I start to pick all characters I want, and many old characters. You know what did that mean, especially of price.
Mhm.
So I start, and the first one that I got was Kim Brondon. And when I opened this box, I still excited today for that,
Mhm.
because every time I open this figure, I'm excited, because of looks like to see a human being character, because of the details. You can see also the lines on this face, on the
Mhm.
face. Which other figure in the line you have the lines on the face so perfect, looks so realistic. It also looks like to have a real dwarf that jump out from some screen of some whatever fantasy movie that I never saw before. And I saw that I create a diorama for a throne room. And so this guy needs a story. I need to start something. I started to create many projects, the stop motion series, and uh, and also another project, a big chessboard, and another guys that's still a secret. Oh, this story is about that. When you thought everything that I say right here until now is just to say I agree with you about the Mythic Ninjas are the best.
Yeah.
But because it's something special, it's not just the figures, because not just a toy, the Mythic Legions, because I discovered that the people is the fandom is for every age, but is also for age guys that are over 40, over 30, so people that are a collector. Yes, we are a kid inside of us, we know that, but because every artist have that. But I discovered that along with the Mythic Legions, the genius behind the Legions, Eric Treadaway, create also a community of artists like you, my friend. an amazing, talented artist like you that creates awesome stuff. But now back to you and show me another figure.
No, I agree with all of that. And this past like Legion's Con when we went out for Legion's Con, and then we also did Intern for a Day, and got to speak to Eric and just kind of pick his brain about some things. And man, the stuff that comes out of that guy's head is just crazy. It's all amazing. And getting to watch him sculpt live was just, I don't know, man. It's so cool. But yeah, I'll keep going down the line, I guess. So here's the Leonardo.
Super cool.
And these were all just Colosseum orcs. I think when I started seeing the Colosseum wave, I think that is when I get my timeline screwed up. I think that is when Adamon and Keltis came out, was with Colosseum. And I was like, oh, they're doing homage figures. And instantly I was like, I want to do that too. And I saw the Colosseum orc and I was just like, that's a Ninja Turtle. You just got to change some of the colors, So I have added a few things since then. Like when the feet and hand packs came out, I gave them the bare feet and hands because they obviously make more sense. And then when the Advent of Decay weapons packs came out, I took the turtle shells from them. So they're always kind of evolving, but I keep coming back to them. They're very simple, but I like them a lot, and other people seem to like them too. I was worried about being pigeonholed as the turtle guy, but I guess there are worse titles to have.
There we go. And because before to show that, I start to my next question was, where is Mikey? But now I saw Mikey now.
Yeah.
Also, I like that he used the mace instead
Mhm.
of the big chucks. I like that.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking, well, what kind of weapons would he have? Like, would this like medieval style ogre carry around nunchucks? That's probably not very likely. But what could he have? Well, I mean, like a mace is a pretty cool weapon, and to dual wield maces, it's like that's pretty brutal and really cool, I think.
Super
So,
cool. How much time do you need to do a figure like this one, for example?
well, it just depends. These ones are just straight repaints. And since, the arms were already green, I did change the color of them, but the base color is still green. So I didn't really have to do much intensive like joint preparations or anything like that. So the straight repaint, I probably spent maybe 3 to 4 hours on each one of the turtles, doing it in phases. But more labor intensive ones like the Krang, I probably spent 10 or 12 hours at least on the Krang.
Yes,
It was
also
a lot
because
more work.
the big word of sculpt the body and I put also. But for example, for the turtles, for the last two that I saw, they are both barefoot. My
Mhm.
English sometimes is crazy because I learn English with wrestling. So you can wonder, how cool is my English?
No, you're great.
Well, I can speak also a little bit French because I study French. Obviously, I speak Italian. I understand Spanish a little bit.
Mhm.
But for example, I discovered the difference between the English from UK and from US. I understand. I learn English because I of English from US because the English UK is the pronunciation is different. Looks like
Mhm.
different. However, and Walter, go to dinner, but come back later. Come back because we need you in the show. So when you did, for example, the last two, they were both were barefoot or barefoot. What is the correct pronunciation? Barefoot.
Barefoot, yeah.
Okay, I did it.
Yeah.
When you put, for example, these two, you works only one figures or once or maybe two, because when you paint one, you need that the paint is ready to go the next step for the same figures. What is the process? In general, one figure or maybe two figure to go back and forth between the two figures?
I generally work on one thing at a time. I have a hard time doing multiple things at once, like because I want to start something and I want to finish that thing. With the turtles, since they were all so similar, I started at the same time. Like I ordered 4 Coliseum orcs, so when I got them, I just started on all 4 of them. So I would paint 1 torso, 2 torsos, 3 torso, 4, and then start on the arms. 1 pair of arms, 2 pair of arms, just until I did the whole thing until all 4 of them were done. And I worked on them for probably a week and a half or so, and then they were done.
So like in the TMT story, also in your world, the 4 turtles were born together.
Yeah.
Nice. Also, this combination.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first ever before the Mythic Legions appears in the world in 2015?
Mm-hmm.
At the time you did other custom. What is your first ever custom figure?
The first ever custom figure, when I was a kid, I used to collect like Marvel toys, like the old Toy Biz ones from the 90s. And I never had a tiger stripe Wolverine, like the yellow costume, but I had this weird variant that was like blue and purple. And I painted that to be tiger stripe Wolverine. That's probably the first time I ever painted anything. And then when I got older, I got out of toy collecting and then I got back in. I think the first thing I did once I got older was when Hasbro took over Marvel Legends, they re-released the Mcfarland Spider-Man, but he was black and red, and I painted him blue and red, a simple repaint. The first one that I remember actually like sculpting parts or like cutting into and stuff like that was when I was making DC Universe Classics style Marvel figures. I did a Captain America, and I used the upper arms and the upper torso from an Aquaman to get the scales. And then I had to cut that in half, and then I spliced it with a Flash figure to get the smooth, like the lower arms and the legs and stuff, and then repainted that and made a DC Universe Classic style Captain America.
Wow, it's not an easy process put together everything like that.
Yeah, that's the first time I remember actually like being very labor intensive and cutting things apart and rebuilding things and seeing how things fit and that sort of thing. So that's probably the first real like in-depth custom that I ever did.
And the first Mythic Legions custom?
The first Mythic Legions custom, the first one that was actually Mythic Legions would be the Turtles. Those are the first ones I did. I did do Gothotropolis when they did the Raven series, the birds. I did one that was painted like Zoar from Masters of the Universe.
Okay.
And that's one that I didn't grab that one to bring with me today. It's somewhere in a box.
Okay, now it's time to see something. So show me another one, another custom.
Okay. Well, if we're going down the line with Ninja Turtles, the next one I did was this one.
Wow.
Which is my Shredder.
Looks like maybe because it's not the cartoon version, it's the comic version, this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used the red torso and whatever that's called, skirt piece from Scapular. And it's more kind of like a Mirage style Shredder. And then I just
Mirage Star. Yes, more than yes, I remember that. Yeah. Very cool, because when I saw that, in the beginning I saw, wow, this is Shredder, but Shredder for the Mirage Star. And do you have a project to do also another Shredder, more cartoon accurate? Speaking of the colors,
Shredder.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna go exhibit at Toylanta down in Atlanta, Georgia next month. And I wanted to make things to sell because when I went to Legions Con last year, I didn't sell anything. I think people wanted me to sell stuff. They wanted to buy things. So at Toylanta, I'm going to be selling stuff. So, I made this guy to sell at Toylanta, and I didn't really intend for him to be a shredder, but he definitely looks like the shredder.
Yes,
So
maybe also super shredder a little bit.
maybe, yeah. So I think he's maybe more of my cartoon style shredder with the purple and silver.
Wow, which this Paul Drains this ad? Where you got this stuff?
Those
Because
are from myactionfigurecustoms.com.
okay,
And they made a whole set. They call this guy the Dragon Slayer, but it's the head, the torso, the pauldrons, and then this front skirt piece. And
the helmet, the mask on the face is perfect for shredder.
yeah, when I first saw it, I was like, well, that obviously looks like the shredder. I think I'll do that. But when I started making this one, I didn't intend for it to be the shredder, but it definitely came out being the shredder.
For example, this guy will be on sale on what is the name of the show?
It's called Toylanta. It's
Okay.
it's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. But
It's
we how many will be one pieces for each character, or do you do more than one for each character?
well, I did 3 figures specifically to sell at that show, and then I'm gonna have a bunch of like parts, like heads, torsos, maybe some weapons. We'll see what I get around to, but that's what I've been spending my time on recently. Is just making sure I have stuff to sell at that show.
So, for
But I can go.
example, this one you have only one and will be on sale. This one.
Yeah.
And what is
Yeah.
your feeling of that? Because yes, you sell when I sell a copy of my book, I'm happy because this is my job. But I have there is many copy of the same book.
Sure.
When you sell this one, you have no more this one in your collection. What is
Right.
your feeling at that moment?
And that's why I don't normally sell stuff, because I get really attached to the stuff that I make, even the stuff to sell. But if I make something, telling myself from the very beginning, I'm going to sell whatever I make right now, it makes it easier in my head. Say, okay, I made it to sell, so I'm going to sell it. But I'm sure once I don't have it anymore, I'm probably going to be like, man, I wish I would have kept that.
Yes, because yes, maybe you can do another one again, but if you want to do other character, also to have the time to do everything is not easy.
Right. Well, and it's like if I'm gonna customize stuff, I want to do something I didn't do before. I don't want to do the same thing twice. So the likelihood of me doing it again is pretty slim.
But if someone asks you to create something that you did before, you do that or not?
No, I don't really take open commissions. I did it for a while, and I didn't like it that much. So I get a lot of messages and stuff on Instagram and Facebook of, hey, can you make me the turtles and that sort of thing? And I just don't. I feel like that's a slippery slope. I feel like if I tell one person I'll do it, then I have to tell 10 people that I'll do it, and then I'll never do anything but just make these turtles over and over and over again. So
yes, that can become a real work that give you more money, and maybe you can work for that.
Yeah, that was nice.
I understand, because when you start, for example, when you start to work with your heart, I tell you my story, the music. When I started to be a musician, it was many years ago in the Jurassic era, I believe 1995, 1994. And I started, okay, there is maybe on Toylanta you meet 1-6 shooter.
Yeah, well, he was at Legion's Con and we got to hang out, and I really value the time that Trevor and I had together then. He's a really cool guy, and I just appreciate the conversation.
Awesome. He was 2 times in my show,
yes.
Also to celebrate my channel, and I like his photo, is awesome. But back to my music story.
Sure.
When it started was the typical young guy that his dream was to be in a big arena and sing in a big arena with his band, but with myself, because I have my name is not. I have a band, but in the concert was basically my name. No. because I'm not a band man, a frontman of a band. Oh, it's myself as an artist with a band. In general, many girls, the dancing model, a dancer, a violinist. In general, I use it, especially girls in the show. I start to do that, but when I start to go do that professional, so I was the opener of many of some popular artists in Italy, and I become a friend with them. And when I start to work more professional than that to find a producer, oh, when you start to work with the business, you lost a little bit your passion because of the worst rules that have this war for the music, for example,
Hmm.
especially in Italy, because in Italy, if the is the music label don't care if you're talented, if you're a genius, or if they care only or to do marketing.
Hmm.
So therefore, they produce low music, awful music. Every it looks like the same every new artist that comes out. So if you're a real artist, you start to become tired of that. And the
Hmm.
reason why I become a writer because I was tired of these rules of this bad music business in Italy. So I understand what do you mean when you say yes, I can say something, but I don't know to start a turtle maker and maybe lost the something that they want to do more
Hmm.
because become something too much. Um, you can there is a problem that you can lost your passion a little bit if you start to do the same stuff every day and maybe not
Hmm.
something that you like so much. For example, I lost a little bit my passion for that work because of the business in Italy, the philosophy of the producer in general. Not with the bad because I'm a friend. I was in TV in Italy. I'm a friend with some anchorman, and you can find artists that understand you, but you don't find uh, people that work in the business that understand, especially in Italy. And so it's very awful. But I understand also that because when you start to become a work, could be a problem. For a writer, it's not a problem to me for a writer because I published my novel, but now I'm working for my novel 38. So if they want novel, I have my novel for the 38 years. So not a problem. But as a musician, I understand when become a job, a day job with many problems, with many people that ask you something, you can lose your passion. So I understand why, especially a creative, a very are an amazing artist like you there you put your mind inside this world you create because I think that your figure I discovered especially now in this conversation that your figures are not just an homage. It's a new world built into with other worlds to I mean shop with other worlds, but it's something that you create a new world. And you are, as an artist, in my opinion, you need to continue this philosophy, not to become a turtles maker every day. No,
Hmm.
I think there's a reason. Maybe it's that.
Yeah. Well, and that's yeah. That like I said before, I was scared people were just gonna think of me as the turtle guy, and probably a lot of people do, and that's okay. But I've done a lot of like Masters of the Universe tributes too, and then I've started to branch out more too. Like I did. I have one figure that's a tribute to character from the movie Labyrinth, and I
Wow,
really like that. I have it here. It's a tribute to the fiery characters from Labyrinth,
wow,
and he's one of my favorites that I've done.
wow!
So
Very beautiful, beautiful color scheme, beautiful,
yeah,
beautiful work, man.
thank you. So yeah, like he's really cool. I branched out that way. Um, I did. Where am I looking here? I did this guy, and he's a little bit more on the music side of things. Um, I did this guy who is a tribute to Zippy the Pinhead, who was the mascot for the Ramones. And the
Wow.
Ramones are my favorite band ever. So he's my Mythic Legion's Ramones tribute, which is pretty out there, you know?
I think that my friend Shartimus Prime can love so much this one because he
Yeah,
loves.
yeah, I think he's a big Ramones guy too.
Yes.
Um, So yeah, it's I don't know if you know much about the Ramones, but they used to have Zippy the Pinhead was their mascot. So he would come out on stage and dance around when they played the song Pinhead. But the songs had the word "Gabba Gabba Hey" in it, and thanks, Trevor. um, but he would hold out a sign that said "Gabba Gabba Hey," and he would dance around on stage. So I looked up this like runic language, and I actually wrote runes on his shield, and that says "Gabba Gabba Hey" in runes.
It's
Um,
unbelievable the quality of your job because it looks like a licensed figure created for them, for example, because of the details, the clean painting that you have, really accurate. I like that. It's unbelievable. Oh, you I understand more that there is a you're a thinking man in your process doing your work. It's really cool.
yeah, I appreciate that comes across because I do put a lot of thought into them for sure. Um, and getting out of my like turtles box again, like this is the most recent one that I've done. Um, there's
Wow.
a tribute to the Grinch.
Should
Use
we need a Christmas music for that.
yeah, he was
This
fun
is
too,
beautiful.
and I liked the idea of that one so much that I made this guy as a tribute to Max, the dog. He's a
Awesome.
wolf with an antler strapped to his head. was It's just a ridiculous thought, but he came out looking really cool and brutal. And then I made this guy too, so I guess I'm branching out into breakfast cereal as a
Wow.
Frankenberry tribute. And
Yeah, I
he,
saw that. I saw that. I believe on Instagram. You
yeah,
share that. Very really cool. Also this one. Also, but that for example, the little clock that he has on
hmm
his head. What you put that in the head or was previously?
yeah, no. So that head is a head that's sculpted digitally by Brian Burke at Von Burke Studios, but it doesn't have the rocket and the clock. I added those. The rocket I made from scratch, and then the clock I took from a Marvel Legends White Rabbit figure. She has a pocket watch, and I cut the pocket watch off and mounted it to his head.
How difficult is put a tiny stuff right there in the perfect position?
It's not easy. I have those mounted on wires, and then I drilled teeny tiny holes in the side of his head so I could put the wires in and then glue them in. So yeah, it was actually pretty difficult.
When you work in your custom, you listen something music, podcast, or you prefer the silence?
I like to listen to music. I'm a big vinyl guy,
Wow.
so I've got a nice. I actually my day job is I sell stereo equipment, but I have a pretty nice little turntable set up, and I like it too because if I listen to vinyl while I'm doing my customs, every half hour or so I've got to get up and flip the record over and drop the needle again. But it kind of gives me fresh eyes when I come back. So, I sit something down for long enough to just go flip a record. And when I come back, I'm like, oh, okay, well, I need to change this. And then I'll go in this direction now. It kind of refreshes it. It's nice.
I like that because I find also something similar to me because yes, when I'm because I have a my house is like a little castle with three level, and when I live right here, I listen when I work on my YouTube stuff when I editing stuff, especially the news. I listen music from YouTube, but when I work in my studio toy room when I prepare my stop motion. I have a vinyl collection from that I got from my father, and also
Mm-hmm.
actually that room was a gift from my father. So I understand that feelings with the vinyl is different. I have
Mm-hmm.
these old vinyls with the rock and roll, like Elvis, like Jerry Lee Lewis, or James Brown, or soul music, this country music, also this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
old school music. And also the sounds on the vinyls, also with the background little noise that you have with the vinyl, give you different vibes.
Yeah,
And
for
which
sure.
type of music do you listen? Do you in your customizing process?
Um, I'm pretty straightforward. Like I like rock music. That's just what I enjoy. So you get into subgenres or whatever. It's hard to explain to some people, but other people are into it. But I really like punk, like the Ramones, and like more recent like pop punk music. And I'm also a big fan of like emo music, which I know for a lot of people has a negative connotation, but I really like how melody driven it is. I really like that a lot of emo musicians really good creative guitar work. And it's not as straightforward as other styles of music, so I enjoy that.
And you told me that you had a music band. Tell me which instrument do you play at the time, or you still play some instrument today?
Yeah, and I haven't been in a band in about 10 years now, but I was a guitar player mainly, and then there was one band I was in that was a three-piece band that I played bass, and I never really thought I'd be a bass player, but once I was in that band, I learned I really enjoyed it, and it's really a different you approach it a different way than you would guitar. So I'm glad that I got to do that too. But
Also, because if you know or play the guitar, the bass is not the bass guitar is not difficult to play. Also,
it's not hard to just play like root notes to chords, but
yes,
it's hard to really like become more of a rhythm driven
yes.
instrument and musician, I guess, and really to kind of click with like the drums and stuff. It's different than guitar. It's cool.
Which do you play electric guitar or also acoustic guitar?
Yeah, I mean, stylistically, it would probably fit more with electric, but I mean, I play both.
Okay, do you have a guitar there?
I don't have one with me. They're all in a back room right now.
Okay, because I try to put you as in the stuff
Oh
because
yeah.
for example, Dennis Derby is a guitar player, very
Mhm.
good. During the show, after he play also a music after his.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's
I watched that show. He's a really great classical guitar player.
very
Um,
good.
I wish I could play like that. I can do a little bit of that kind of stuff, but not on the level that he's doing it.
Oh, maybe next time if you come back in the future, I want you with the guitar also.
Sure, I'll come up with something, maybe.
Okay, go to the next custom.
Sure. Well, I guess I'll round out my Ninja Turtles stuff really quick. I only have a couple more. So at Legion's Con last year, I wanted to do some new stuff I hadn't shown. Usually I make a figure and I just post about it and it's out in the open. So I started to keep stuff a secret so that when I went to Legion's Con, I'd have new stuff to show. So this was kind of a 2-for-1 deal here. But I did, this is my April O'Neil.
Trevor says that you hate queens. It's really don't like queen.
No, actually, Dennis hates Queen. That's kind of a joke. I
Dennis.
actually really like Queen, and my kids
Yes, me
love
too.
Queen.
Me too.
Yeah,
Back to April.
yeah,
Show
sure.
me.
Here's my April O'Neil.
Cool.
And then I did this guy as kind of a set piece because I did little miniature dioramas. And I made this guy just to put him dead at her feet, but that's a foot soldier. It's just a Templar with a purple torso. And then I painted I think a Dragool head to match.
Cool.
But I put off April for a while. A lot of people wanted me to make April, and I figured that she would just come out looking like Gwendolyn Heavensbrand or something. But someone told me to make a Barbarian April, so that kind of sparked my interest a little bit more, and I made this one. So obviously she's just like the gold and blue, so she kind of matches the color scheme, the red hair. But I wanted something to pull her in a little bit more and make her more turtle centric, I guess. And I don't know how many people I've told this to, but if you can see, she's got a tattoo along the baseline of her armor there.
Yes.
And that's a Polynesian style tattoo. I learned from Google, so if I'm wrong, people can correct me, I guess. But it's a Polynesian style tattoo that in their the tattoos they give, that pattern is symbolic of the turtle.
Okay, I don't know. I know the Polynesian, especially the Samoan, because I study a little bit the Samoan tradition because of my novel, but also because many legendary wrestlers are from Samoa, like Yokozuna, for example.
Sure. Yeah.
So because of that, all the wild Samoans, no?
Hmm.
Because of wrestling, I discovered that. I know that there are each tattoo is a new level of their resilience, power in their skills as a warrior, as a man.
Hmm.
So it could be interesting to discover which mean a turtle's tattoo for the Samoan or Polynesian tradition. It should be interesting.
Yeah. I wanted to give her like a tattoo or something barbarian style, but I didn't want to just like draw a turtle on her, So that's a little bit more symbolic.
It's a deep cut, this one.
Yeah, for sure. And then this was another one of my Legion's Con figures, and this is probably my favorite Ninja Turtles tribute I've done so far. But this was my tribute to the Rat King.
Wow, awesome.
He's got this amazing head sculpt from Emil Wickman and Wolf King Customs, and you paint it red. It really has a Rat King vibe. And then I got this turtle shell pauldron from Seba and Planetary Dog Toys. And I really kind of took my time to make it look like a real turtle shell, and I was always really happy with how that
So
came
many
out.
details in that pauldrons.
What's that?
In that pauldrons, so many details.
Yeah, it's super detailed. And this one has too, the torso is from my action figure customs, and so is this bone loincloth here.
Wow.
Amazing. And then I made a diorama for him too, and I had just tons of rats on it. They're mutant rats. Some of them had like two tails, and other ones had like.
Do you have pictures of this diorama?
They're on my Instagram. If you look at my Instagram,
maybe I can try. I need to. Now I haven't, because I should be interested in showing you during this moment also the pictures, but. Yeah. I forgot to ask you some pictures before to start.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine.
But so you did also. Also Trevor is in working this ad right now. Says that. It says it's tricky.
There's a lot of small details in it, and it was really fun to paint. And I think it's one of those ones that when you finish, it's really rewarding. There's so many good sculptors in the community, and, that work with, Wolf King Customs and, Seba and Julie at Planetary Dog, all my action figure customs guys, and anyone that I'm forgetting. But this figure has so much personality to it, that head sculpt. And he really, he's a crazy guy. So I really felt like he fit the Rat King very well.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of,
Rat King is one of the craziest bad guy in the TNT storyline.
Yeah. Well, and he's like a crazy guy that lives in the sewer and all this stuff. But, I kind of envisioned him as like maybe he was a knight or something that got excommunicated, and he went out and lived in a forest, and then like the rats were his only friends or something like that, and you can kind of create your own stories with it.
Awesome.
He was a cool one.
So you create also diorama pieces for your customs?
I did for Legion's Con, and those were the first dioramas I ever made, and I ended up liking a lot of those just as much as I liked the figures. I really wanted something that would set my stuff apart from other people. I knew a lot of people would have custom figures there sitting out on a table or whatever. But I got these plastic cases that were 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And I thought it made me think of like Warhammer. And, you say Hero Quest, they have little figures, right? Little minis.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And, the people that paint those will paint little bases to go with them, and it helps kind of immerse them in a story. And you don't even have to read anything to understand the story. You get the kind of the contextual stuff of what's around him in the setting, and you kind of build your own story. So I did that. I wanted to make little bases for them to kind of tell a story without me having to say anything, and they came out really well. The only one that I have with me is actually, it's this one here. But this is a little diorama I did for a tribute to the Hatbox Ghost, which is a Disney character from, he's in the Haunted Mansion ride at Disneyland. And this diorama that I did for him is actually a graveyard scene that is in, if you go to Disneyland and you wait in line to get on that ride, this is the line for the ride.
Wow, awesome.
And I did it down to the brickwork on the floor and on the wall here. And then these were 3D printed by Anthony Velez at Noble Bear Printing. He did this headstone for me and the fence work, which is from the ride.
Awesome. Do you have did you made, sorry, stop my bad English. I rewind. Do you made also some mention haunted house character tribute also?
The Haunted Mansion?
Exactly. See, I reversed the name, but it's this.
I made the Hatbox Ghost, which is this. I have him here. Are you familiar with the Haunted Mansion?
Yes. Wow, this is now is my favorite now because I like Ghost. I like this the cast. This figure is awesome.
Yeah, he's a character in the ride that he has a head on his body and it'll disappear from his body and then appear in the hat box that he's carrying. So I have the head in the hat box. And then you can see, like, I painted this cape so that it's clear and then it becomes solid. And I really wanted to get the aesthetic of the ride on there. So I actually painted it with UV paints too. So if you have a little UV light, you can shine it on it and it glows just like it would in the ride.
This is beautiful, this idea.
He, on the surface is very simple, but he might actually be my favorite figure that I've made so far.
Yes, now it's my favorite too. It's beautiful. Yeah. I like also the idea that you, for the painting, that they can become a lighting head in that little stuff. Unbelievable, very cool.
Yeah,
I think you need to continue this line, in my opinion, because you get this awesome diorama, this awesome custom. You are in the good way, in my opinion, to continue. Really cool.
Yeah, definitely. And I have more ideas. I want to do more Haunted Mansion, and I actually have, I've talked to some of my close friends about it and some people that 3D print, but I have kind of a tribute piece that I want to do that's based on another attraction at Disney World. But we'll see if I get to it. It'll be really cool if I do it, but I have to commit to it first.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So now this is my favorite, absolutely, because I like, I'm a guy that like also the ghost story. For example, in Mythic Legions, I like Agnan. I like Agnan because he's the only one ghost character in the Mythic line.
Yeah.
And I hope that they will continue this type of character, ghost character in the line, because now we have only one. And maybe create more like they did right now for Ilithia. Another faction, another type of character I like, the vampire. Now with Ilithia, we have many different vampires. In my opinion, we need also many different ghosts in the Mythic Legions.
Yeah, I think so too. And I'm a sucker for transparent toys too. I think it reminds me of like the real Ghostbusters from Kenner. Like, do you remember those toys from the 80s?
Absolutely. I have them. I have also the Firehouse playset, man.
Yeah. And they each one came with that little like translucent ghost. Yeah. Yes. So I think that carried over to I just have a general love for like colored translucent toys.
Yes, me too. When I also, for example, the iconic Scare Glow also in the Masters of the Universe.
Mm-hmm. I have a Scare Glow that I did too.
Wow, beautiful! I like how looks also the head for this one.
And that's a Hagnon head. But
So
I did the scare glow, like the zigzag crack in it, and I did glow in the dark paint on him too. See if it like you can see it kind of glows there.
awesome. I
But
think it's better this one than the Scarecrow revelation that we have now.
yeah,
I think it's better yours. It's super cool.
thank
Also
you.
because you give to him some old school ghost vibes,
Yeah,
like Hammer movie, like like the previous character that we saw, something classic ghost. You put some vibes of that. I like this
yeah,
vibe that I got for this.
thank you.
Uh,
He was
so
a
what
fun
is the
one.
next one? Go to the
Um,
next.
well, I guess that could be our segue into Masters of the Universe. I guess this was another one I did for Legion's Con. This is
Yes, Tom Glacier, not right.
Tongue Lashor.
The weapon is the same of the Moto Classics. The weapon the butterfly weapon. The
This weapon, it's based on the Motu Classics one, but my friend Josh Mez, he's online as Mr. Mezcad. He actually digitally sculpted that for me and printed it out,
oh
and then
cool.
I just glued it to the top of a stock Mythic Legion's crossbow.
Awesome. Also, this one is really detailed, especially for to build this weapon of the colors. I think it's not easy to do this one.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time like getting the values right on all the different like scale panels on his head and stuff.
For example, for this ad, what is the first color that you put on the ad to create this effect?
This one's kind of interesting. So I built it with transparent colors. So I used an airbrush for this guy, and I based him in black. And then I built out each individual panel of the scales and kind of outlined those in white. So he's just black and white. And this figure looked like a ghost from head to toe for a while. It was just black and white, like a grayscale character. But then I came in with a transparent purple and then just hit the whole figure with transparent purple. And it kept all those values in there. And it's a very vibrant figure too. Like, I don't know if it's
Wow.
coming across on the camera, but he's very, very bright. And if you ever get him in a situation where natural sunlight hits him, he almost looks like he's glowing.
Wow.
He's
Wow.
really, really cool. And I used the same technique for this guy. This is my web store tribute.
Man, but every character that I saw is beautiful. It's better than the first one.
Yeah,
Growing the quality.
thank you.
I have a question before to start with this other one because I don't want to lose this question.
Mhm.
When you showed me before Tom Glacier, the ad, I never wonder that to create these final results, you need to put black and white. So you have an amazing technique also to create these final results. Tell me how you learn that. Well, because I think you need to work and work and work to discover this process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly doing research. A lot of it comes from me just going to the store and looking at art supplies and thinking how I can utilize that. So, like, that's a technique. I don't really talk about it too much, but it's using acrylic inks, so they're not paints. It's ink. And when I discovered acrylic ink was a thing, I started, Googling it just like any person would do, and finding out that there are techniques out there for painting with acrylic inks, and you can achieve different looks by using them than what you can with paint. They're capable of doing things that paint just can't do. They're by nature translucent, and paint is by nature pretty opaque. So you have to utilize them in different ways, and they can help you come up with some really unique looking things, I think.
Awesome. And speaking of the collector community, because obviously you touch different license, different community with your works.
Mhm.
For example, as a YouTuber, I discovered that the Mythic Legions community to me is the best, also because of the reaction of my work.
Mhm.
Is different than the other community. It's different because
Mhm.
in general you can find sometimes complaining people or people that it's not the same. It's not the same.
Mhm.
You got something different because you know that the people that watch your videos from the Kabbalah in general are artists or people that like so much the art.
Mhm.
And tell me what is your feelings about that, because your custom touch different type of community, in my opinion, because of the lines that you put together. Tell me
Sure.
your experience of that. What do you think in general of the reaction? Because I think that in the Kabbalah you become a real character for this for your job, no? Because this community is different. But tell me
Mhm.
also what is the reaction of the other community and your feelings of that.
It is kind of interesting. I think a lot of other toy lines, I have to be careful of how I word this, I guess. But I think with Mythic Legions, the appeal of the line is the artistry behind it. And these aren't characters that existed before, so you're not going to find like a comic series that's been around for decades, or a movie, or a cartoon, or a video game. I mean, obviously now there's a video game, but um, to be into these, you have to have an appreciation for the art, because obviously there's no nostalgia involved with it. So with other toy lines, there's nostalgia involved. So I think a lot of people who collect comic book characters, they collect it because they read the comic when they were a kid, and now they can have a toy of that character. And I think they probably don't care about the artistry of the character of the action figure as much as they do just having Spider-Man in their collection or something like that. They just care about having that character, and they don't really care about the quality of the toy. They don't care about the production of the action figure or the design process or any of that stuff. Well, I think with Mythic Legions, people care about that stuff. They see that it's a beautiful figure. They see that the engineering is very precise and that the articulation is very functional and smooth, and it's not ugly. And then they think, well, what's the design process? How do they make figures this good? And I think that in general, Mythic Legions just has that kind of spirit about the fandom where they want to know that information. And other toy lines, I don't think have that. And that's not to say that everyone that buys other toy lines doesn't care about that. That's not true. But I think the majority of them just care about, I want a Wolverine toy, so I bought this Wolverine toy, and now I have a Wolverine toy, and that's it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. I think also, to me, I'm agree with you. But maybe I can add something about, because I think yes, for Mythic Legions, they're not related with something, but you can find some nostalgia vibes. Because, for example, I go inside that because I play HeroQuest, the original one,
Mm-hmm.
especially because of the vibes of that put me in the Mythic Legions war, because you can find orc, goblin, ogre, dwarfs, barbarian, mage, wizard. So yes, it's something new, and it's awesome because of that. But you can find also the reference, or not reference, but vibes, nostalgia vibes. You can find also is something new, because this war is built about something that have some reference in the past, but without a real connection, because it's something new. As I told you, when I got Kim Brondon, I like so much because it looks like to see someone that comes out from whatever movie, from the fantasy movie on the 80s that I missed it. I don't know why. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something in the mix sometimes, also the Mythic Legions line. However, now back to the sorry. Sometimes I need to drink a water a little
No,
bit
you're fine.
because I'm a talker. I'm a big talker. Maybe it's typical of an Italian, talk too much.
No, it's cool. I enjoy doing these shows too. in person, I'm not much of a talker, but this is fun.
What is the next one to show me? Next. Webster. We start with Webster
Yeah,
again.
I started to show web store.
Again, this one you choose the perfect pieces to do this guy again.
Hmm. He was one that Webstore is my favorite Masters of the Universe character, so I always wanted to do Webstore, but I couldn't find the right head. But I saw there's a guy, I think I saw him on Instagram, that his name is Vile Labs, Vile, and he made this Webstore style head. And then just like the Krang, I saw that octopus head and I was like, okay, I've got an idea for Krang. I'm going to do it. Same with Webstore. But I used not Mythic Legions, but Four Horsemen Scarabus little legs for the back legs. And then Webstore has that hook that he came with, the
Yes.
grappling hook. And I thought it took me probably 2 or 3 days thinking about how do I make this grappling hook. And then I thought to take the goblin axe and cut the blades off of them to make a triple bladed axe that could double as a grappling hook. And then I put real chain on it. And I
like your ideas to create this. So you think about, you do some research, and finally you got the perfect way to do that. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like solving a puzzle, and people have heard me say that a million times, but you gotta come up with just the right pieces, and then you can piece it all together, and then you have a full figure.
What is the reaction of your friends about your works?
Like my friends in the community or my friends in person?
In real life. Because the community, I know everybody loves you in the community. But now
I don't know about that, but in real life, they don't. My friends have never really understood it. Some of them have kind of come around in recent years. I do have a few friends that have recently gotten into Warhammer and things like that. So they paint the minis, and I think they kind of started to understand, I understand why you loved this whole time, but not many of my actual friends in my day-to-day are big fans of fantasy or sci-fi or comic books or any of that stuff. I have a couple of them that are, and they think it's cool. But the majority of them don't really care. And that's fine.
I understand that, because, for example, one of the reasons why I create this channel, because in real life, I have many friends that I have are famous artists, famous in Italy, or I have just few friends that are not popular. But these few friends, for example, they are not collector. To them, Master of the Universe, for example, is very popular in Italy. It's like something they remember, childhood memory, but they are a collector. So everybody that know that I am a collector or I have many collection looks me like a crazy guy. So don't understand this stuff. Why you collect? Why you purchase that? You spend a lot of money to get a Super 7 snake mounting. Well, because it's beautiful. What is your question? No, it's beautiful.
Right.
How you can live without a snake mount in your house? It's impossible. Come on. So, but they don't understand it. And the same stuff also for the Mythic Legions, because my mother or my girlfriend saw me that purchase many stuff. But I tell you another story. To put my girlfriend in this world of Mythic Legions, she loved play chess with me. So I have this idea. I create a storyline, because the storyline of my stop motion, and also in the story time, is a funny part in the review when I use the figure like a puppets or whatever. But then I create two factions, the black faction, the white faction, because I decide to create from one side the story with the stop motion, but also to create a chess game with the Mythic Legions. And it changed also a little bit the rules. So I create this huge, I believe it's 5 feet 3 inches wide board chess to put together all the figures. And because of that, when my girlfriend comes to me, we play chess in my toy room with the Mythic Legions, and now she starts to understand what
That's awesome.
she loves that the quality. But now I start to build a diorama because I made a throne room and start to get diorama pieces for Crash Most Custom, no?
Mhm.
And every time there comes something new, this custom start to become bigger, bigger, bigger. But for example, when a test to understand if a figure is really cool, is beautiful, show this figure with someone that is not a collector. I
Mhm.
remember when I showed the Stone Troll to my mother, it's not a collector, or to my girlfriend, they were surprised because of the quality. My mother was studying the art academy, so she understands the art in general. When
Mhm.
I showed to her the stone troll, was surprised about each details of this guy, but for each figures, so she understand that is something different. You
Mhm.
see, they are cool. When my brother is a skeleton guy, since he was a kid, he loves skeletons, every type of skeleton. When I showed to him Melius, or especially the Skeleton Legion builder,
Mhm.
she was surprised. He no, he was surprised for that because wow, this skeleton is awesome. He's awesome. He loves also HeroQuest, by the way.
Mhm.
So it's a good test with the people that are not collector. Show the figure, and when the people that are not collector loves that, says it's cool, that means this the figure is awesome. And this I got this reaction especially for Mythic Legions. Yes, for the Snake Mountain, where they were, by the way, copied by for Horsemen, made by my friend Brian Flynn, Super 7.
Mhm.
So awesome, awesome. I'm very happy every time when I saw this big play set. And they were surprised because of it's very accurate, very big, the size. But speaking of action figure, Mythic Legions are the number one for the reaction of the people that are not collector.
Mhm.
However, show me another figures, because if you don't show that, I continue to tell you
Oh,
stories.
sure. No, you're fine. Um, so with the Masters of the Universe, I have a couple more. I'm looking around, looking at what I haven't shown yet. This was one of the first ones I did. This is a too bad.
Wow. Yes, I saw that. I believe on Instagram or in social media. I saw somewhere this one.
Hmm. And that's my action figure customs double head torso. And then both these heads are from my action figure customs also.
So also the torso is from them because it's a bit wider than a normal hoggle size, I believe.
Right. Yeah. I mean, around the waist, it's about the same size, but then it gets wider as you move up. And then, of course, it has two necks.
Cool, really, really cool.
Yeah. He's another one of my favorite characters in general. And the last one is actually, this is the most recent custom I've done. And it's one that I made to sell at that con.
Oh, there is a sad side of the moon for this one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But hopefully he'll go to someone who will really appreciate him. But this is a tribute to Disco Skeletor.
Oh wow, another is a deep cut. This one.
It is a deep cut, yeah, from the 2003 series. And
I saw that you share on Instagram this one because I'm familiar with the colors. I love the color that you this type of blue purple that you use for the body.
mhm. Yeah,
What
it's
was to do this, to create this final effect for the color? What is the secret behind?
I actually used a color shift paint for it. Um, that's another secret that I learned when we went to the Four Horsemen Studios for Intern for a Day. They've been using this iridescent color shift paint on some of the newer figures. So some of the Cosmic Legions figures have it, like the Sphexians have it kind of dusted on their bodies. And in the Poxus wave, I can't say it. Ericagor, the big dragon, he's got these purple stripes down his back that were done with that iridescent color shift paint. So I went and bought the same stuff, and this torso is just, it's a blue to purple color shift. So depending on the
I
angle
believe
you're
that
looking.
to understand this technique, you talk a little bit with Cameron, I believe, because
Yeah,
Cameron did a while
I
ago.
talked with Cameron. Yeah.
He was in my show a few weeks ago.
Oh, really? I haven't seen that one.
You miss an important episode because we talk a lot about painting figures with him.
Yeah. Well, and it was awesome to get to talk to him in person about it for sure. But I need to rewatch that video. I want to see what you talked about.
Yes, you can find the playlist, Mr. Alan Super Show. If you scroll, you can find the
Yeah,
interview with
definitely.
Cameron. Really, really,
Um,
really, really awesome artist, by the way.
oh yeah, he's incredible, incredible. That's it for my Masters of the Universe stuff. I think the only things I haven't shown are I've got this one figure. This is the third figure that I made to sell at the convention, and it's pretty basic, but he's just a pumpkin head skeleton guy.
That's awesome.
It's a skeleton Legion builder with my action figure customs head. This was actually sculpted by Zombie 13, Eric Boris. He's in the Cabal. And this axe is from my action figure customs also. But then I just...
The torso, you sculpt something in the torso, I see.
Yeah, I drilled holes in it.
Wow.
I used a Dremel and actually like put big pits and stuff in it, and then I painted him to look rusty.
Cool. This one looks like a character that jump out from some series. Could be a character that could be possible in some Halloween episode of Stranger Things, for example.
Oh yeah, that would be cool for sure. He's got that kind of vibe, definitely.
I love it. I like because it's something that they could be in a movie. This character, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah, and that's what
another interesting. I think it's another interesting way that you can continue this one.
that I can what? I'm sorry.
I think that this character that you show me now, can be the first step of another way, another world that you can explore with your customs.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of want to get more into creating figures that aren't tributes because that's something I really have never done. But yeah, he was fun. I'd like to do more like him. And there are different styles of this head, so you can kind of make different characters with it also. He's
Yes,
pretty cool.
you can build your story also. You can build a new world, a totally new world now. Also
Yeah.
because I think that what you did so far with this homage figure was also like a training to create a story, because you are able to create some new story with two different world, team along with Mythic or Masters. But now you can explore a new way, because in my favorite still the guy with the Haunted Mansion is the correct name.
Yeah.
Mansion, Haunted.
Yeah.
Haunted Mansion. So that one still my favorite. However, it's my number one of yours.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite too. Yeah.
And I like because all the idea comes out to this ad. There's the glowing ad, this color, and I think that I believe that, for example, as a writer, before to start a story, I feel that this story already exists somewhere. In my opinion, somewhere there is a world that already exists and need you to become real in the shelves. No, so I think that this world already exists and knock you like that with this inspiration, with this moment, with this ad on the other character, with this new character. Basically, a character you created is not something related with other line. It's something that you create, this pumpkin guy. And this is two perfect example. There is a new world. There is somewhere in your mind ready to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, it's, you get inspiration from all these other artists around too, because it's like, I painted this figure and I kind of made this character or whatever, but this head came from Zombie 13. If it weren't for him, and if it weren't for him making this head, I wouldn't have had that idea to make this character. Same with like the Frankenberry that I did. It's like if Brian Burke had not made that exact head sculpt, I would have never had the idea to have made this character. So it's almost like collaborating with other artists, even if you aren't actively collaborating with other artists. It's kind of cool. It's fun. There's a community sense to it. So I don't know if I can take all the credit for all the ideas for the things that I've done, but I just think it's another cool aspect of the community that we're in.
Maybe you need to do some copyright stuff to protect your figures now.
I mean, if anything, those guys need to copyright their stuff, but
however, I like this just for fun, because I like this genuine chemistry that will be between the customizer and also sometimes the Horsemen too are inspired by your works, because it's something that mesh up between each other, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's as I told every time, the art is a type of love. It's something that we share with someone. So a song, a figure, a book is a type of love to everyone. And so when this chemistry is very good between each artist, is amazing. It's something special that you can find only in the Mythic Religious community, because yes, in other line they are customized, but it's not a strong faction of artist customizer like in this world of Mythic Religious. And it's something that I like so much, because I'm an artist in other way, but as an artist I like a community of artists. It's very cool.
Yeah, definitely. And that's because kind of what you said, it's cyclical. It's like someone creates something, which then inspires someone else to create something, which then inspires that first person to create something new, that inspires the next person to create something out of that. And it just keeps going. And, I've built a lot of really cool friendships out of that, because it's, I really have a ton of respect for these sculptors in the community and other artists. And, I really try to be very welcoming and supportive of people who are doing art in any capacity in general. But there are quite a few of those artists, and I can't name all of them just because I can't think of all of them. But, I think of Brian Burke, I think of Emil Wickman, Seb Adam, and, Anthony Velez, and all these people. And I've built really great friendships based on a mutual respect for the art that we create. And I really think that it builds very strong bonds right out of the gate when it comes to creating friendships with those people, because we already know that we love art and we love each other's art, and there's just so many places you can go from there, I think.
Yes, it's really cool. I agree with you. It's something magic. It's typical of the art. The art is a real magic in real life that transform the life, because it's impossible to imagine the life without the art. In my opinion, in general, sometimes the people forgot that because they are too busy in the schedule of their job, of their life. But every people needs art in their life. It's important.
Hey, Noah. So another great artist that I love. Noah is the king of the diorama. He's just amazing. I love Noah. He's the best.
Awesome. Welcome Noah to the channel. And guys, if you are new, I don't think you are new because you follow the show, but don't forget to like and subscribe and share on social media. And if you join the channel as a member, now this is typical my promo. If you join the channel as a member, you can share, like with me, in special episode of the show with the guest members. You can share, like with me, your collection. Sometimes I made a parody of myself.
That's awesome.
But however, I try to back on my first comment.
Sure, sorry.
But I like sometimes I'm myself is my reason of my distraction because I follow the river of everything. However, it's impossible to imagine the life without the art. And also maybe sometimes the people says, for example, the typical words of a mother of a young kids that start to play piano and do a concert. Remember, this is not a real job. It's just something that you can do as a hobby. Really, when you start to get money, yes, you got money, but this job will not forever. So it's these typical words, no, about, or maybe you become famous. You're famous, but you do nothing every day. You're just a musician that play piano every day. No, it's typical.
Mhm.
But everybody listen a song, watch a movie, or read a book, or play with a figure. So it's not in Italy. In Italy, for example, because it's a smaller country, it's difficult to find a strong community of collectors. It's the reason why I create this channel, because with this channel I can meet many people with my passion, no, the same passion.
Yeah.
But yes, I think we know the human the story of the humanity. It's not a good story. If you read the storybook, many wars, many bad stuff, you know uh, many people take over each other's. But if I can tell one thing they won't save of the story of the humanity since in the beginning, from the Jurassic to now, is the art. Is the art that is the only one things that put the human being something special, because we it's the only things, because the other stuff are so many stuff that maybe we can be better without, no.
Mhm.
For example, the politician rules, whatever decide, because each side is the same. But the art, and every type of art, is something that is special. And the people needs that. And people needs collecting, because, like I told last time with Brian Flynn, you find the connection with yourself, with your the child inside of you, but also something that maybe you can lost when you're growing up, in your life. And
Mhm.
so I think it's important, because the, the the toys, the figures, is a mix between art and nostalgia, and something that you need to don't forget in your life, because the uh, when people become older, sometimes lost passion for everything, lost the genuine vibes, no, that you got as a kid. The art is still a kid forever. Is the reason why you can create something, no.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this is something very really cool, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. And I don't really think of myself as a big kid or anything like that, but I mean, it's art. It's creating things just kind of. For me, it helps get me through the day. It's if I didn't have my art, um, I don't really know where I'd be. I wouldn't be the same person. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but I just know I wouldn't be the same. And I think that it's just such a core part of who I am as a person that um, I don't know. It just means a lot to me. I take it very seriously, but it's my outlet. It's fun. But yeah, I mean, I do. I put a lot of thought into the things that I do, and I really am. I don't want to say that I'm a perfectionist because that's what's perfect. But I really want things to come out a certain way, and it's rewarding, and it almost gives me a sense of purpose. I think just by being able to create something that I'm happy with, that other people seem to enjoy, and things like that.
However, shout out to Noah, new subscriber on the channel.
Thanks, Noah.
We do you have still other custom to show, or we cover everything?
We covered pretty much everything. I do have one left that's not really Mythic Legions, but it does have some Mythic Legions parts. And it's interesting to me that you were talking about Brian Flynn, because I'm a huge Super 7 fan too, especially, obviously I love Ninja Turtles. So I'm all in on Ultimates Ninja Turtles from Super 7, and I really, really love that line. That's probably my number 2 line after Mythic Legions. But I did do this one. That was a lot of fun. He's a little bit bigger. He's hard to see, but this is
Wow.
using a Super 7 Ultimates Leonardo. And then I used wings from Mythic Legions. And I used a Malifar tail from Mythic Legions. And then this is a collar from Belphegor from Mythic Legions. But this is a modern take on the Winged Warrior Leonardo, which is one of the more rare variants from the vintage line.
Awesome, super cool. I like also the colors that you use, the shade of blue that you use. Really cool.
And that's those are inks again, using acrylic ink instead of paint, and being able to build muscle textures and values with it.
Awesome. You say that is not perfection. There's no perfection. Yes, I agree for the concept in general, but this figure looks like perfect, my friend, because really cool, really cool, really detailed.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I love too also the Super 7 philosophy, what they did with the figures, the ultimates. And my big dream is told that every time with Brian, because Brian was five episodes of my show.
Mm-hmm.
And the show started with Brian, by the way.
I think that's how I found your show originally. Was I saw one of your interviews with Brian?
Yes, Brian. This show started was in the first episode, another 4 episodes, and every time I have the same question, Brian. I have a dream. Marshall Bracer Filmation style Ultimate figure. Please do that, because another line that I like so much. I like the Filmation cartoon. So Master of the Universe, She-Ra. Also the Filmation Ghostbusters. I like so. I have also the figures for that, the old one, the vintage one of the 80s. And I discovered Ghostbusters before I discovered the Filmation cartoon, and then the others. So these are in Italy are really popular, the Filmation Ghostbusters, especially when I was a kid. And I discovered before the Filmation one. I remember that when I saw the show, I don't know why in this broadcast, in this network in Italy, after a few months, they stopped the filmation and start the real Ghostbusters. And in the beginning, I was shocked. Why? What is my filmation, my real Ghostbusters? What is Primeval? And then I start to love, obviously, I start to love also Real Ghostbusters, the movie. I'm a big Dan Aykroyd fan. So there is many licenses that I like. But now my favorite collection is Mythic Legions, and no questions about it. Because of it's something different. Because everything that you say, that you told me before, because there is you understand that behind this figure there are a group of artists, and they made toys, figures, not just to sell something, but to create something artistic. Because every wave of Mythic Legions is like a new chapter of a novel, of a story, And so this is a really creative. It's not just a short bio just to sell the figure. No, it's a bio with different reference, award, build award, work in progress to build award. So because of that, I like so much.
Definitely.
So now we are so close to 2 hours. Maybe it's time for the last questions.
Sure.
But if you want to come back in the future and maybe also with other guests, no, because we'll be more for Mythic Legions on this show. I try to cover everything, different stuff, but obviously Mythic Legions is my new love. So, however, my last question is a simple, maybe hard question. I don't know. If you can pick only one word to describe yourself as an artist, which word do you pick?
That's tough. I think I would probably just say maybe fun.
Awesome. Also, because it's on the bottom of everything, to do video, to do write a novel, to do a song, you need to be fun. If you are not fun, you why you do that? Also, because if you lost your fun, you lost your passion, then you lost the the resilience also, because to be an artist you need to a big resilience and determination to continuous every day to do that. No, it's not easy.
I'm laughing at Trevor. He said turtle. Yeah, I know. I like that people find the figures that I have made to be fun. Like I think something about the creating a character tribute or just using bright colors and stuff like that. It's if it elicits some sort of feeling in someone, I'm happy that people just think it's fun.
Perfect. Now I change a little bit the the the, the, um, the set, because now the people can see also the piano, because it's time to go to the piano. But before to go to the piano, my friends, I remember to you next week on Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So 8 p.m. Eastern, that means 5 p.m. Pacific, will be in my show for the third time. We will return Zach Ott of Diamond Select Toys to talk together about Marvel Select, Minimates, and more. So Zach will be the return. Don't miss the next episode next Sunday. We'll be on Sunday next week at the show on 8 p.m. Eastern with Zach Ott of Diamond Select Toys. But now, back to the piano, to the final moment of the show. Thanks for watching, my friends. And don't forget, following this show, go to the Instagram page of Eric and enjoy his work. Because his work with Mythic Legends Custom is amazing. He created many awesome stuff and more is coming. And don't forget to go to the Toy Atlanta show to purchase his figures before it changes idea, because maybe it changes idea, it says, no, I want to be this one, because they're so beautiful, it's difficult. Say goodbye to the figure. Thank you, guys, and thank you, Eric. See you soon, my friends. Okay, thank you so much, Eric, to join the show, and good work. Because I like the last things I want to tell you is that I like your philosophy, because you are a man that thinking about. It's not you are not a guy that just put together some stuff or just painting. You are a guy that I understand. I discovered that with this interview, that behind each character that you build, that you create, there is a long process to of thinking about it, to wonder how looks good. So a guy that everything is not casual, and if it's casual, it's because fit right in your project, in your perception, in your feeling. So I like this. I'm not surprised that you live across the nature, because the nature gives the good way to be quiet and think a lot, how to do better your stuff. And I think also there is something related because of that, because the nature help you to relax and thinking everything to, and the final, when you got the final results in your figures, I saw many example. You feel that behind that there is something interesting.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad that you understand my process, and art's very important to me, and it's I'm a very art driven person, and this is my outlet, and it's been awesome, and it means the world to me that anyone thinks that what I've done is cool to any capacity, but even to be able to do shows like this and talk with other artists, this stuff is amazing. Like I can't thank you enough for asking me to be on your show. It's so fun.
You're welcome. So guys, don't forget, follow the page of Eric Next Sunday, Diamond Selectoids will be special guest. But don't go away right now, because later tonight, I'm a busy man. I will be more to news tonight, my friends. I'm crazy. I work 48 hours every day. It is not 48 hours, so you can understand. So thank you so much, Eric, and thank you to all of you guys. Bye-bye, my friends. Don't go away, because more is coming tonight. Bye-bye, guys. Don't go